this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, Janet Jackson has entered into the political fray and has made a definitive statement about Kamala Harris's father. If I'm shocked, I think I have a right to be, because we rarely hear anything from Janet Jackson, and the fact that she would get involved in this is nothing short of astounding. And I just want to make a point before I go into this article. I am a Black American Southerner. We find humor in things that other people may not. Some people have commented about my laughter. Some like it, some don't. And every time I make a video about these black immigrants, somebody comes in here telling me, oh, you're supposed to be educated. You shouldn't be laughing. In America, being educated doesn't mean that you don't have a sense of humor. And so if you don't like my laughter, you know what to do. So this headline is from U.S. News. Janet Jackson goes on bizarre Kamala Harris tangent over VP's family and heritage. Now, consider the irony. Janet Jackson, I keep asking the question, are there even any black people left in the Jackson family? The next generation, what do they look like? What does the next generation of Jacksons look like? I know the older sister did marry a black man, but those children have his name. What about the Jacksons, the Jackson men? I believe that Jermaine Jackson married Berry Gordy's daughter, so his children would be Jacksons. But I don't know how many he had and how they identify. But he divorced her and descended into a life of true degeneracy, including having children, maybe even marrying one of his brother's non-black wives. And Janet herself has a mixed child while she's running her mouth. And how will he identify? Will his father's people accept him because he's half black? Are there any black people left in the Jackson family to carry on the legacy of black American entertainers? Are there? So as far as I'm concerned, she is one of the last people on earth that should be questioning anybody's ethnicity. So the article says, Janet Jackson knows a lot about Rhythm Nation, but she clearly doesn't know anything about Vice President Kamala Harris's heritage. In a sprawling and at times confusing interview with The Guardian, Jackson postulated about Kamala Harris's family background while seemingly admitting that she did not know what she was talking about, and clearly she did not. I'm not sure when this interview took place, but if it was done recently, it could be that she's grieving. She just lost another brother, so we can cut her some slack. Well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian, she told the reporter. When the profile writer clarified that she is of both black and South Asian heritage, Jackson answered, her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told they discovered her father was white. These are pictures of Kamala Harris's father, Donald Harris, when he was a professor of economics at Stanford University. I think one of them was taken in 1974 and the other was taken in 1986. This is not a white man. This is not an Indian man. You don't have to justify not wanting Kamala Harris to be president. You just don't want her to be president. But trying to distort everything, especially her heritage, is dishonest. It's really dishonest. This man has the phenotype of many black Americans, including my grandfather. What your family members looked like coming off those plantations depends on what happened on those plantations. Jackson, in making her comments, was parroting conspiracy theory right-wing talking points perpetuated by GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump. At the presidential debate held earlier this month, he said, "I don't know. All I can say is I read where she was not black, and then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her." Well, if it was okay, why would he even bring it up? He's pulling the same thing on Kamala that he pulled on President Obama. President Obama was so perturbed by him that he went and pulled up his birth certificate. I believe President Obama advised her not to do that, and I wouldn't if I were her. You go down that rabbit hole and you'll never get to the end. It'll just be one thing after another. She said who she is. That has to be enough. It is well documented that Harris's father, Donald, is a Jamaican-American professor of economics at Stanford University, while her late mother, Shamala Palin, a renowned breast cancer researcher and scientist, hailed from southern India. Both her parents immigrated to the United States, meeting as graduate students at the University of California, Berkeley. In Harris's 2019 memoir, The Truths We Hold, she wrote, "My mother, grandparents, aunts, and uncle instilled us with pride in our South Asian roots. Our classical Indian names harked back to our heritage, and we were raised with a strong awareness of and appreciation for Indian culture." She added, however, "My mother understood very well that she was raising two black daughters. She knew that her adopted homeland would see Maya, which is her sister, and me as black girls, and she was determined to make sure we would grow into confident, proud black women." Now that's what she wrote. She said her mother was determined to make sure they grew into confident, proud black women. Elsewhere in the interview, Jackson went on a tangent about all this child trafficking crap that's going on. A strange out-of-the-blue comment considering the plethora of child sexual abuse allegations levied against her late brother. She also said she believed the U.S. will descend into mayhem regardless of the election results this November. I totally disagree with that. I think people do want something to happen if Trump doesn't win, but I don't think there will be. All they have to do is remember what happened after that big January 6th insurrection. A lot of those people are in jail, and that's where the rest of them will be. Jackson, a multi-platinum artist who has influenced everyone from Britney Spears to Kendrick Lamar, has been cited as a source of inspiration by the biggest R&B and pop musicians today. The 5-time Grammy-winning artist has also graced television and film screens in credits like Will and Grace, where she played herself, Fame, Good Times, Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, and Poetic Justice, for which she got an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. The legendary performer is currently on the second leg of her Together Again tour. Her older brother Tito, the founding guitarist of the Jackson 5, died less than a week ago. Yeah, I'm just wondering if this interview was done before, probably was done before Tito died. So that's probably just her speaking what she thinks. People need to understand they don't have to like Kamala Harris. They don't have to support her. But her father is not white and he is not an Indian. He may be mixed like a lot of descendants of slavery in the Western Hemisphere. And more importantly than Kamala Harris's heritage and whether or not she's black is the fact that her brother Michael transferred over $1 billion of wealth back into the white community. That is way more important than Kamala Harris's heritage. Her brother was actually black, and he actually gave away the money that really could have helped bridge the wealth gap in black America. So let's talk about that one of these days. But anyway, y'all, the Jacksons are the last people to be questioning anybody's heritage. They are a gifted family They brought a lot to the American stage in terms of music. We were very proud of them. I know I was. I love the Jacksons. But the way that they have basically denounced their blackness in favor of anything other than a black person for a mate makes me think that you can do what you want to do. But you need, before you start pointing the finger at somebody else, you need to look at your own past and look at your own family. Kamala Harris is being true to what she knows about herself and how she was raised. And I don't blame her for not going all over the country telling everybody over and over and over again what her racial admixture is. I don't blame her one bit. I wouldn't say another word about it. She has said who she is. People can take it or leave it. And as far as Janet Jackson is concerned, I extend my deepest condolences to that family in the loss of Tito Jackson. Losing a brother is devastating. I know that from personal experience. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video, and have a good day.